Hello, sports fans. Welcome back to Group A action at the ESL Hamburg, the GG.Bet Hamburg Invitational for an ESL tournament, but brought to you by Maincast. I'm Kyle, that's Lizard. We got Group A winners match coming up. The winner will advance to the bracket stage. I am out of practice at this, but FlyToMoon and Gambit sure aren't, because here they are playing against each other now in a BO3 to see who will.
They've already won the first games, right? They've
Indeed.
already won one best of one each team.
That's a big deal.
That's a big deal because these were the first games for them, official games at least, in this new season, and it's good to start off well, you know? Like, it's good to start off with no technical problems in your team or anything like such as that.
You don't want to be making roster changes in September. You want to make it at least to Halloween.
Yeah,
I think.
at least to Halloween, like just a month or two at least.
Did you ever dress up for Halloween?
Actually, have never done it.
Really?
Never.
Man.
I'm so boring, right? But then again, it isn't really the tradition in my city to have these dress-up parties. You know, they've started only recently, like maybe 5 years ago.
Gotcha.
And yeah, so it didn't really happen for me. At the same time.
That sounds like pretty much all of my high school.
I would love to do it one day, you know? Why not?
You know, I want to go out with because I did this once. I went, my cousin, who was a girl, dressed up as Hugh Hefner, okay? And me and a couple of her friends went as Playboy bunnies. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was probably some of the most fun I had. The best because I gave myself, you know, some augmentations in the chest, right? And the whole night, I'd have people just be like, just feeling me, you know? And I would be very offended. Like, how dare you? How dare you? I did not ask to be touched, ma'am. And it was just fun.
Ma'am? No one believes you, man.
No, it was a good time, though. I want to do, like, more themed stuff. Like, there's a lot of, like, you just watch an old movie, right? Like, I'd love to, you know, dress up as the kids from the Goonies or, like, Sesame Street characters. Anything. You just go with a bunch of friends, just have a blast.
Yeah, you just enjoy.
Or pick like some movie where they had. I'm trying to think of like a cast. Like go as different like not Seth Rogen characters. That'd be pretty boring because they're all the same. But you know maybe Paul Rudd's the same as well, huh? I don't know. You get what I'm saying. Yeah, you can do different Ryan Reynolds characters. That's a good one. Somebody dresses as Pikachu.
You know what? Every single time I watch these pictures of Halloween parties, I see Pikachu, I see Ash, and I see that girl Misty, right? Like there's always Ash and Misty. I had a friend that did a fun costume once. He went as Misty, and his girlfriend went as Ash. So that was interesting.
Hey, it's gotta say that's
2019, man. That's it.
There you go. I think it's something like Monty Python did. Like I just don't. I'll be honest, dudes. You know, never mind. We're not going to get into
Monty Python. No one is going to recognize it right now. I think it's not really that popular. I mean, the show is amazing. Don't get me wrong. The movies, I've watched them. I really liked them as a kid. I watched them even, but they aren't really that popular, right? So
not especially. It's definitely. I mean,
not
it's
mainstream.
So old.
Not mainstream.
It's so old.
It's so old and not mainstream. You know, there are some things that are old, but everyone is going to recognize you. Like, let's say you dress up like Pulp Fiction. You know, like they'll know what's up.
Yeah.
But,
I gotta say, I love this pick from FlyToMoon, though. The Wyvern into the Night Stalker Void. Not only do you have that great combo break and saving potential against the Void ultimate, but you've also got increased night vision and a talent for it later on. So easy to maintain that vision advantage. And now a Bristleback. This is the dream. You need these tanky heroes, right? This is the OG meta right here. These Tier 2 carries that sort of, thanks to the sum of their parts, the sustain heroes behind them, and the hyper-efficient item builds that you can go nowadays, you're indestructible.
They're really good versus the Void, right? You have this Bristleback and versus the Chrono. At the same time, though, Bristleback versus Void, man, that can be really difficult for Bristle versus that time dilation. You can't really use your Quill Spray. Then again, you have Abaddon on your side. You can't help out with that. And the Wyvern, if you get caught in that Chronosphere, you're going to have the Wyvern and Abba to help you out, to save you, be it with the ulti of Winter Wyvern or with the Cold Embrace. Gambit, I really have a feeling that they have to step it up early on in the game. They have to crush these lanes, you know. The Faceless Void can't be that Void that gets Diffusal super late on or goes for Midas or whatever and just goes AFK.
The thing that concerns me is, once again, like this lack of wave clear, specifically on the cores. Void Night Stalker, you're right-clicking. That's it. Gyrocopter, Bristleback, you spam your buttons.
You're spamming
and you clear these
and
waves
you have
immediately.
Ivern as well, you know, one of those supports that loves outpushing all the time. Just spam that Splinter Blast, have a blast. Crystal Maiden versus you with who is she going to work? That's also a question. Usually when I see this Crystal Maiden, I see this hero that's really strong in the lane and always gives mana to her allies, right, with your aura. It's not like these heroes necessarily need to spam anything out. Like Crystal Maiden, I don't see the effectiveness of her passive in this game, and I don't see that huge combo on the lane that's going to help her take down a target with Crystal Nova nukes plus something, you know, like Crystal Maiden plus Axe, let's say, before with the Battle Hunger plus the Crystal Nova nuke or something similar is very strong. In this particular game, I guess you have the Night Stalker, but we'll see how effective he's going to be in those first 5 minutes, because usually that's not really his strongest timing in the game. Axe has been banned out by FlyToMoon, which is interesting, right?
You give it a Timbersaw now, don't you? That's the one I'd be really afraid of if I'm FlyToMoon here. Because not only does it give wave clear, it's tanky, great synergy with the Void, and you just own Bristleback the whole game.
It's definitely an option. There aren't many heroes that go for that slurge, but I'm wondering, maybe Gambit is already considering this Bristleback hero to be solved by the Void and time dilation. At the same time, Bristle has been 4th picked after Void, so FlyToMoon is confident with this pick. We'll see how it goes for them. The only thing that really does make this Bristleback really good in the current match is the Abaddon with the shield, right? He's going to be able to help him out so well.
Yeah, this can be enough in one of the circumstances. We saw that last game.
Sniper ban now. Is this a no? Oh, this is a disruptor. Alright, so Abaddon will be your... Oh, could this be the gyro mid?
Yeah,
right?
it is. Or
right?
Bristle mid as well.
It could be Bristle as well, yeah, definitely. I've seen quite a lot of gyros picked mid in the recent times. That's why I'm saying it. But you're definitely right. Like gyro can be mid, Bristle can be mid, Abaddon and Bristle can go on either one of these side lanes as cores, so we'll see how it goes. Disruptor pretty good versus Mirana and really good versus Void. You have that limbs to work with. I hate to play Mirana or Void versus Disruptor. It's just such an annoying hero that gives you a lot of vision with his first spell, and also the glimpse always available to take back Shackle, Vampire or Dream. By the way, maybe a year ago I played versus this XS Vampire dude a lot in pubs, and he had like OG pictures all over. He was like, he's like from CIS, he's one of the biggest OG fanboys. Also annoyed me in pubs all the time, spammed Wisp quite a lot, and he's one of those players that doesn't really have the biggest hero pool, I believe, on his position, but on the heroes that he plays, he does perform really well.
Yeah.
And I'm actually wondering if he is going to be maybe the next Immersion or someone similar in the CIS, because Immersion has left FNG and went to what, Positive Guys or something, I believe. So
go figure. I will say you can see the influence. If you say he's an OG fanboy, the way they've been drafting makes a lot of sense, because it's very heavily influenced by those back-to-back TI champions.
Back-to-back.
I'm going to jump into the game in just a minute. What do you think, though? Who's going to take this one? The Quap last pick. We saw GPK go off with it in that first game. A little bit more difficult here. He's got, you know...
What's he going to lane against? What are the options? And Gyro?
Bristle. Gyro Bristle.
Bristle. What about Abaddon?
I was thinking you would say that.
Just shield.
You could.
Yeah, just shield the poison off of you.
The thing is, you can then go for the Scream. You end up out CSing.
You definitely go for
and
the
you push
Scream,
the lane,
and
you get free runes. It's a bit awkward. I think you're better off with the Gyro, because then the Disruptor could rotate over. You're going to find kills pretty easily.
I've definitely seen a lot of Queen of Pains even, well, not completely win the lane, but do fairly well versus the Legions even, you know. And Legion used to be the go-to pick versus the Queen of Pain, because you just cleanse, as you say, that Shadow Strike off of you and you win the lane with superior right clicks. But if you go for the Scream of Pain build, then it doesn't really matter. And you control the map, you rotate much easier. So we'll see.
We shall
see
indeed.
Who goes mid.
Let's hop into the game as we see which of these teams will take it. Of course, remember, they will qualify directly for that playoff stage. ESL Hamburg, the second LAN of the season. DreamHack Rotterdam will be the weekend before. And it is insane how we're just going to get right back into the swing of things. You're going to have DreamHack, ESL, the minor, the major, just like back to back to back. I believe 4 or 5 weekends in a row, we're going to have a LAN.
So many.
And then it's right into the qualifiers. And it's just...
It's going to be a hard season for these teams, man.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of time to reshuffle or even think about it, right? That's the problem. Like,
Do you know it's crazy? Like, how many teams are going to learn from OG and realize, like, wait, why the hell did we play all year?
yeah.
We just got to play TI, right? What do you think your over-under is? Top 20 teams from last year. How many teams will not be playing for the first major?
For the first major.
I'll give you 7, and you tell me over or under.
I was thinking like, I was going to say actually 10, but I think maybe it's too much. So, like, I don't know, 9, 10 teams, I would say, won't be playing. We'll see.
It's insane.
I mean, people need to rest as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, you burn out. And I believe, like, when I stopped playing, one of my biggest difficulties was to overcome the burnout feeling. Like, I'm a tryhard. I play way too much.
Yeah.
I believe that by playing more, that more is better. You know, I have this mindset. Just grind it.
Yeah.
Just a grinder's mindset. Just do more, train more, practice more.
But it's unhealthy.
It's unhealthy, and it makes like the more you do it, the quality doesn't increase.
Yep.
It decreases.
Dude,
you lose the fun as well, you know, and it's so important to have fun while playing this game.
Yep. I had breakfast with Resolution today, and that was literally exactly what we talked about for a bit, was how this kind of toxic mentality that develops.
Yeah.
And it's not in the sense of like, oh, you're being rude to people, but more that, you know, you're judging yourself based off of your results. That's what Dota's all about. Are you winning or are you losing? And it pushes you when you lose to just play more and play more and play more, but that doesn't necessarily help you achieve what you want, and you have to try and be happy regardless of whether you win or lose. Because at the end of the day, look, Dota's a passion for these players. A lot of people still love to play, but it's your job.
The moment
you can't all in your job and have that be all you have in life.
The moment you that's the difficulty, isn't it? The moment you start considering it as a job completely, you lose the fun, you lose the passion, and someone with more passion is going to enjoy the game, is going to learn easier, because you learn better if you're doing what you love, if you're doing something that you have passion for, and that's definitely the case in this game. That's why we see so many youngsters just hitting top 1 on leaderboards, right? They have this passion, this drive that makes them learn and become better faster.
Yep. And then Ivana taking that to an extreme where he just literally has fun with his friends, casually comes over to TI, wins himself 3.06 mil.
Goes away, comes back next year, does the same thing. Vampire. One of the difficulties for Mirana isn't only glimpse. Always want to fly. Let's see if he should be fine here, I believe. Yeah. One of the difficulties for Mirana is not only the glimpse, it's also the nuke from Always Wanna Fly. Disruptor has the highest nuke, damaging nuke that is on level 1.
When you check out the odds, you can see Gambit heavily favored in this matchup. Even though we're probably leaning towards the FlyToMoon draft, I think Gambit's just got a lot more, you know, their players are more known, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's not only that the players are more known, I think it's the organization that has been performing much better in the... It actually is an organization. FlyToMoon is just a stack. It's a stack that got picked up by Winstrike in the last season, or the season before, sorry. But Gambit, however, they are built around this FNG, this huge leader, and Crystal Maiden. Let's see. Oh,
got him.
FNG, speaking of him, it's the truth. He falls to Slayer as Dream was a little bit too close. Splinter Blast connected, and someone is getting kicked. Reshuffle, man. Come on.
It's a little too soon. Love this regen rune, though. If you're Fear, this is exactly what he needed. Did not have any regen on his person. Now he'll just be full HP. Walk straight back to the mid lane. One bracer already prepared.
Must feel really bad for that Queen of Pain, seeing him walk in with that regen still kicking.
Yeah, because Bristle just turns that mana into CS, so he's been sacrificing his body to ensure, and you can see the tip coming out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, I see how it is.
That's the rage tip right there, man. Like 100%. You don't want to see that Bristle being forced out of the lane, and then he comes back, because why not?
Yep.
Gabe
and now you can't pressure him, because now he'll have that regen that he didn't need to use.
Yep.
So
and look at Queen of Pain now. She's on like 10% HP because of that. Slayer, though, is getting low. FNG needs another nuke to give vision for Dream, and no bashes came out. So
he went down to the bottom side. Will this be enough? He just Slayer just
slow,
just
perhaps
goes down.
even. Okay, he won't fall. There were no bashes, but I wonder why didn't he?
Yeah, why didn't he just fly up?
Why didn't he just fly up? Yeah.
Fly away, my bird friend.
He messed up a little bit there, but yeah. They get the kill, a freebie for them. GPK, when it comes to CS, on par with the Bristleback. He was actually Shacklow.
Nice job. The flat cannon. Oh, the stout shield just enough to keep him alive.
Tango, Mango, and the Stout Shield, and he's fine. Always want to fly. However, level 3, 2 levels into that nuke, like Vampire, he's really struggling. He's struggling hard when it comes to region. As you can see, he used all of it, and he can't be hit by the nuke plus the... Yeah, you see, he has to leap out. He can't be hit by the nuke plus missile, or he's just dead. Even like this, he drops to 20 HP.
Yeah, we'll get the CS, though. Hard to deny under tower as well for the gyro, so... Some valuable points going his way. CS relatively even across the board. Shaklo now teleporting in, going to salve up his friendly Mirana.
Yep, and we're 1 minute away from that nighttime, which does change things a little bit, and this Disruptor is going to be the hunted, not the hunter any longer. Also, the same can be said for Gyrocopter. By the way, in that last game, when we saw Abaddon, he had the Dragon Knight with him, right? He had this... well, speaking of Bristle, he did get pretty low on
He'll
this
be
mid
fine.
lane.
Bottom could be interesting because you now get that silence off on Void. They could have potentially applied some pressure. But what were you saying?
I'm just looking at Shisui. Is GPK going to try and blink in before that salve is used? No, he won't. Anyways, Bristleback is that tanky character such as Dragonite, right? But at the same time, he doesn't push nearly as fast or as well. So this Abaddon won't have that partner to just push with, right? It's not the same. Gyro and Bristleback, they don't work like Gyro and Dragonite. Dragonite gives you that pushing power with Bristle really
the
lacks.
catch, right?
Yeah.
It gives you a core that has that stun. Now you're way more reliant on your Disruptor support to actually find openings.
If he gets
to get
bashed
kills.
here, Dream is really unlucky with the bashes, I have to say that. He's not getting any so far that I have seen.
Well, it's not like the... never mind. I had a joke that would have been inappropriate. It's too early in the season. I gotta wait till people are...
Maybe this is the time, man. Just
No.
break it.
That's a good point. And I mean, but the thing is, the people watching this, credit to you guys, like, they're the true Dota fans. These guys have been itching for it. They've been waiting weeks without a game of professional Dota 2.
Yeah, because
you want to make sure you bring them the proper coverage.
we did talk about teams and how they need a break. The same can be said for viewers, right? Like you watched TI just a few weeks ago. You don't really want to watch this tier 2, tier 3 Dota, right? You want to wait it out at least until the first proper LAN, which will be the ESL One, together with Dream League, right? And speaking of dreams, Flow does die to Void, who does get a few bashes on that lane.
Nice
the
arrow.
is nice, yeah.
That's a freebie right there, GPK. Gonna be able to finish off Always Want to Fly, blinks away to safety. Even grabs an Arcane Rune.
I'm telling you this, I mean, you know it from the TI as well. This Mirana support is definitely a strong hero as long as you don't AFK for the first 2 minutes trying to get that courier. And does get that kill on the Disruptor. And he's still rotating around mid. I'm not certain just how much he's going to be able to do, but GPK does have that Arcane Rune to work with. And perhaps if an arrow connects, they could get a kill. They know where Vampire is. Always Want to Fly should be able to nuke him here, but does he have follow-up? That's the question. You don't really have... The problem that they do have on this FlyToMoon team is the fact that they have no catch, like you said before, and they have... Like, what's their game plan? Bristleback, Gyro, Abaddon cores.
Yeah.
What's the game plan here? Just run and push. That Always Want to Fly is going to die once again. It's such a difficult game for FlyToMoon when it comes to strategy, right? Like, you have to find a way to group up and just, I don't know, force push all the time. As you have no real setups, no real damage, no real burst.
It's a tough ask for sure. Keep continuing to develop. GPK will blink away as that Arcane Rune still active. Just trying to think of what the timing is. Like, who's going to really try and get aggressive first? I think Gambit, you want to abuse the cooldowns. The Darkness, the Void Ultimate, find kills, just like they're going to do right now, it appears. But this cast range on Cold Embrace, man, that is absolutely insane.
I'm not going to ask, like, who wants to be aggressive, but who can be aggressive early on. And I believe Vega are the ones that actually have spells to work around and work with. At the same time, on the side of FlyToMoon, I think you just wait. You weather out the storm. Okay, they will try to go for this Night Stalker with the Arc. Well, but Mirana has arrived and they are turning into Arc Dota. That Flak Cannon might take down Night Stalker. He survives and the Arc is forced to retreat together with Always Wanna Fly. That arrow is coming off cooldown 1 second, and Queen of Pain is stopped. Deny has been done by the Abaddon, but Queen of Pain is here. Always Wanna Fly will be the one that falls, but Gyro might deny him as well. Let's see.
He should be able to. It's not. It's an easy peasy.
It's an easy one, but Arc now.
Nice
Okay,
TP.
TP's away instantly because he gave it away that he's around and they can't dive him easily. That's unfortunate for them. I believe they could have gotten that kill if they played it just a little bit better.
Yeah, indeed. And the one downside of this lineup, though, is you can even if you find that kill, you just don't take towers as the Gambit lineup. And we've seen FlyToMoon, especially on the back of this Gyrocopter Ags Rush. It's very easy to take down those structures. We'll see how they capitalize on this slight advantage they've acquired thus far in the lane phase.
Both of these teams aren't like really good at taking down objectives, right? But you have this Bristleback perhaps that can stand in front and just go for your towers. But I believe Gambit should just ignore him as much as possible. Dream?
He's got no leap. Arc Dota down bottom. They're going to pick up FNG for free.
Yeah, he just ran into them. He was like, take me, leave my Void alone.
Yeah, this Void, or this Bristleback, man, he's going to be so difficult to take down. It's just important that he picks up a Lotus Orb quickly, because you don't want to get time dilated.
You do have Abaddon, though.
That's a very good point. Yeah. That cleanse is incredibly effective at ensuring your Bristleback's able to stay mobile inside of the fight. Shacklow will be able to find a kill with the assistance of Vampire on Always Wanna Fly.
GPK is there, and because of that, they have to retreat and just take their own. Now the double damage should be taken by GPK. He does get it, and
yeah, they're going.
They can go. Flow only level 5, so does not have that ulti to work with. Does die, and Arc Dota is in problems now as well, as Shacklow is flying across these trees towards the Gyrocopter. You can't hide from this. But you can turn and fight. Sadly, it doesn't really work.
GBK did more damage than he expected there, blinking forwards to finish him off with the scream. But wasn't even necessary.
Look at Chisui. He pours here, but he has no mana to work with. That's also a problem with this hero. You have to itemize to be tanky, but you need mana, and Courier is gone.
And that is the benefit. That's the way Gambit plays, right? You pop the darkness, all of a sudden, so much broken up around the map. They are sitting pretty now.
So much. Like, just look at this team. Crystal Maiden is the only hero that has no mobility, like to build him. Abaddon.
We got his ult popped. He needs a bash or 3.
He needs
Dream, man.
A lot of bashes there.
Very ambitious with his chrono usage thus far. Will teleport away to safety. Has enough gold for the Midas as well.
Actually TP top, so they will instantly go into that tier 1 push as they saw Arc Dota go bottom. I believe they will just trade towers at the moment.
And this, I feel, is the downside of having cores that can't make plays, right? Your Disruptor, sure, he's going to be catch later on in the game, but look at his net worth. Yep. He is your hard 5. You're not really able to get involved with level 2 Glimpse. And
let's see.
No mana on this Bristleback still.
How do you deal with this? Like, if you're Bristle, you need
you need a Soul Ring. Needs a Soul Ring instead of one of those bracers.
But you can't really do that because you went for Hood. You need to be tanky as well. It's a difficult situation for him. Towers will be taken down bottom first, tier 1, and on top. The Void is still there pushing, so I believe he should be able to take that one while they deny the tier 1 on the mid lane.
Yeah, this is definitely a win for Gambit, though. You can't do much to defend towers in a 5-on-5 just yet. However, you can play split around the map as we've seen. No darkness, however, no Void ultimate, so there's really nothing you can do other than sit and buy some time. Try and collect what resources you can around the map.
The thing that I started mentioning, but tier 1 started to fall and I had to stop it, is the fact that they have so much mobility on Gambit. Like, you have this Bristleback who is very strong when he sits in front and just forces you to go on top of him. But look at these heroes, man. Void, Queen of Pain, Night Stalker, Mirana. They can all get behind him, kite him, forget about his Quill Spray while you deal with the Winter Wyvern and the Disruptor, and then you deal with the rest, you know. Like, you can do it that way. There are ways for Gambit to play, and look at these odds.
Yeah,
like,
man.
It's not like there's so much in front, only 3k ahead right now, but the viewers that are betting do understand how this game should play itself out if it's just a default, you know, game. And
you're going to have a scenario where there's objectives to control, and it's just so much easier for Gambit to acquire more information, make better decisions.
Here, though. This could be really good. Yeah, the Glimpse, is it there? What level is the Glimpse?
It's only level 2.
And that's the problem of going 2 levels into the Thunder Strike. That's
a kill otherwise.
Yeah.
That's tough. That was a smoke. That was your
level 6 on Disruptor. That was your Gyro wasting time, not farming, committing to go with you. Maybe they were a little bit too eager to go there. Should have let that disruptor run in first. Could have been a little bit easier. They could have avoided that cliff first and then went for the Void. There were options.
I love what Gambit's done. They're going to have Midas on Void. They're going Midas on Vampire as well. Like, they're just playing for the late game. They know that it's so easy for them. Their high ground is nuts. And this game will go late if they're going to win it. So just ensure that that's where your win condition truly is. Stall this game out, hit and run, play in the darkness, and eventually find yourself a foothold. Top lane. FlyToMoon will catch an arrow on the Abaddon.
There's flow around it. Yeah.
I meant the gyro, but you know, things happen. The Chronosphere is active, and now Void will TP forward, Dream moving in. But not really a fight. They just want to stall, right? You don't want to actually take a 5-on-5, or do you? GBK, again, the Courier. Will it survive is the question. He's going to blink forwards. Of course he does. Finishes off that kill. Now GBK in a little bit of trouble, but he has a DD. Arc Dota's only level 8. He's in some serious trouble. Holy, he's just dead.
Oh. Good Winter Wyvern there to save him, but Mirana is around.
Chronosphere, will this be enough? Nice blink forward from GBK. 3-man Sonic Scream. Now he's going to Yulz himself up in the air. Does not have blink for a couple moments, though. Is in some trouble. Will he go down is the question. 2-1. They popped the ultimate.
Is that really the play?
That's
oh,
not,
the silence by the Abaddon. That's why they did it.
Okay,
It allows Flow to get those stacks on, and because of that, Queen of Pain falls.
2 for 2?
2 for 2 so far. The bounty runes will spawn, and Vampire.
Nice leap. Will it be enough is the question. Pops the shrine. He's still in some danger. Holy shit.
I just have to say this one thing. The Midas, I don't like it on Mirana. On position 4, I believe. You have so many options, so many items that you can buy.
That help you farm faster and actually help your team, like the Arcanes into mech build as an example.
Arcanes into mech build is good. You could go for Urn Vessel versus these heroes as well, which is really good, versus the Winter Wyvern versus the Bristleback. You know, there are options that are better in my opinion.
No, I agree. I think the big key is that you actually farm so efficiently if you have on like the mana that it kind of defeats the purpose to get the Midas first. That's the big concern.
Even if you go for Basilius and Urn, you get enough mana region to be constantly on the map without going back. Without the Arcanes. The Arcanes are perfect as well, as you can go into the Greaves later on mech build. But that last fight definitely demonstrated the way Gambit can play with these heroes. They played on 2 different fronts, Queen of Pain going all the way behind, soloing the Gyrocopter with a little bit of help of Mirana. At the same time, Dream using Chrono on the far left side of the team fight. And they can do this because they have so much maneuverability, mobility on their side.
And I want to touch on that point you made before, because this is another thing that I felt like OG utilized so well in their TI run. This concept of staying on map, but not just like on map, but strong on the map. It's not, oh, like I can push one wave and now I have to conserve my mana. It's this idea that I'm always able to use my spells to farm waves, to play as fast as possible. And I think when teams handicap themselves, they don't have that mana regen necessary. You just innately have to play slow now.
You have to go back sometimes, you know, you can't fight. And this Mirana might be dead once again. Yeah, he's most certainly dead. Oh, is he though? Is he though? They didn't have detection.
Certainly dead?
Certainly dead. I eat my words as Vampire leaps away 3 times and he's fine.
Oh, there's a great quote. You always want to keep your words soft and sweet, just in case you're ever forced to eat them. Really like that line.
So cute.
All right. Flow. In a little bit of trouble. Dream's going to leap
Dream
away.
Actually has to be careful because of the
there's also so much damage on this Bristleback right now with the stacks up. FlyToMoon does go down to Shacklow. Dream will back away. He has that Chronosphere active now. And remember, it is nighttime, so they're going to find Slayer on the side. Oh, baby. What a play from Dream. GPK comes in to finish as well. Bristleback gets blasted off the map. What great play by Empire. How Flow denies himself. Alas.
And the curse is good.
The gyro ulti, however, will be ineffective. Slayer dies. They do kill off Shacklow, but that's a 4 for 1. There wasn't even a Mirana in that engagement. What a beautiful combination from Dream and FNG.
Great, just awesome plays by them. Dream just baiting them in. FNG popping the ulti, Chronosphere just catches the 2 of them without FNG, obviously. I believe Abaddon did deny himself in the end,
he
didn't get 2 kills there. And they do take down the Night Stalker in the end, but overall, a pretty solid performance by Gambit, considering it was them being chased in the first place. So Mirana going for that Midas into 1500 gold, which is probably going to be converted into a mech very soon, Arcane Boots mech.
Watch him buy like a bots. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's only Illidan that does that. I
Yeah.
think like Razor with Midas and Travels, I'll never forget that build, and he won with it.
That's
Like,
the thing.
absolutely useless on the map, but still wins.
That's one of those concepts that is going to die slowly over time. There's a lot of players that they farm almost so that they can farm more items faster, whereas other players, other teams, they're playing for a timing. They're playing for a point at which their hero is as strong as it can be in terms of like the GPM window.
You know what? Like 4 or 5 years ago, you knew your timings somewhat, and your core players knew their timing somewhat, as in when they should get these BKBs and stuff. But you still had players that, let's say, wouldn't get the BKB on time in tier 2, tier 1 even seen. They wouldn't get the BKB. They would opt for something else, and they would be punished. You know. And then we got into this. Let's just see if Empire is going to fall here. The glimpse is there, the ulti is there, and this time around,
they have the dust too.
They have the dust, and okay, I'm not gonna eat any words because I didn't call it, but we run a dust fall this time around. My point
a lot
was
used, however.
my point is BKBs did start getting picked up every single game by teams. Like these big items that are necessary. That's what I'm talking about, utility items. And now is the time in like the last 2 years. Let's say it's not only about the items that you get; it's also about the timings in which you get them. Exact timings. And teams have like your coach is watching your game, and he can pretty much ask you, why didn't you get this item at this time, around, let's say, 10 to 15 minutes. It doesn't matter that you got shut down on the lane, you should have went to the jungle. You should have this item, or we can't fight without it.
Another kill going to be picked up. GPK takes out Always Want to Fly immediately. Remember, there's no spells on that Disruptor, able to save himself. Now Slayer being chased away. At nighttime, Brock, man. As soon as it's nighttime, Chrono's up, and Dream gets active. GPK setting up for the perfect ultimate. Hits both. Fear now on the run, but he's going to get bash locked. So much damage coming out. Already 3 heroes dead, and it's going to be a 4th. Fear, he's getting bashed and bashed and bashed, and now the runes are spawning. That's 4 going the way of Gambit. They are just playing around their draft and their timings and their tempo flawlessly.
I just have a feeling that they have something to play around.
Yeah, it's a great point.
That's what it is. They have something to play around. They have these spells that they can use and control these heroes on the side of FlyToMoon. While FlyToMoon is, I don't know, you can see the odds. They speak for themselves. 8.5 FlyToMoon, that's...
Yeah. It's a great point, actually. There's an organic way for Gambit to just play Dota 2. It's like, oh, we got our timings, we've got vision advantage, all right, we can make something happen. FlyToMoon, their whole draft lineup is kind of like, all right, well, we'll try and pick somebody off. Hey, kill this guy, we've got Glimpse. But it doesn't actually help them set up team fights. They don't have the ability to play aggressively. And that's something Gambit can do no problem, thanks to the cores that can actually get aggressive.
Like right now, if you're watching FlyToMoon, what are your plays? Your play is Winter Wyvern's Curse when they're pushing into, let's say, Disruptor ulti into Gyro. That's your team fight. Once BKBs are up, you can't even do that, and you haven't been successful at executing that kind of team fight so far. So once those BKBs are up and a couple of more items, you're pretty much doomed.
And we hyped up GPK, and I was told by a lot of members of the CIS community that like this kid was next. And so far, he's
so young as well, speaking of...
he's like 16 or 17, isn't he?
Yeah, something like that. I believe, looking him up when they were playing for Vega with Fishman and those guys, and all of them are seriously young like under 22. So
that's good for them. Always nice to see young bloods making a name for themselves in Dota 2. It feels like there's not many that do so. Every year, it's like 1 or 2 guys come in and just kind of dumpster everybody as these core players. But
yeah, I mean, you can't really have too many of them coming in, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would love to see this game being promoted to youngsters a bit more. Oh, FNG.
Just invis. He's gonna tank the Disruptor ult and the rocket. Now GPK, he gets the silence off. That's gonna be an easy kill onto the Wyvern. Now with no save active, Dream's gonna look for a Chronosphere. Has it available along with the BKB. Just thinking about what he wants to do. Flow now on the run. He will be interrupted. Arrow as well, as you said. And now Dream just continuing to chase the Bristleback. Now we can hit him from the front as the rest of his team comes in from the side. The Orchid, so much trouble now on the side of the FlyToMoon squad, and GPK just pops the ultimate. This game is in the books, folks.
After you have dealt with everyone else, you save that Chrono, you use it on the Bristleback, you take Shisui down as well, and this game is just looking very grim for FlyToMoon because, yeah, you use that Disruptor ulti to break FNG's Crystal Maiden ulti, but that leaves Queen of Pain and Void completely free and able to do whatever the hell they want to, and what they did is they just completely eviscerated this FlyToMoon's lineup.
And it's great, too. I love it. Sunday, trying to watch some football. Gambit, thankfully, just saying, hey, we'll get you out of here quick, Kyle.
Don't jinx
you worry.
it. Don't jinx it, Kyle.
I don't. When have I ever cursed anything? Come on.
Yeah, Kyle is never wrong. Kyle does never curse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My mom told me not to swear.
How are you with your parents on that? Do you like...
they don't give a shit.
You don't give a shit? So you do curse around them, right? Like, it happens.
I'm
like 27, and I still feel embarrassed if I curse around my parents, and I try not to. I still don't do it.
But look, man, my dad is from New York.
Yeah.
You don't like...
Dude, I'm Bosnian.
What's it?
Dude, New York. What are you saying? Do you know that we have like Bosnian Serbs, Rosh?
Yeah, bro. Hang on, Dream's going in. He's got no ultimate, but he does have the BKB active. He's going to look to go toe-to-toe. A Wyvern ultimate to interrupt FNG's ultimate. Who'll get the Aegis? It's S Vampire. They get the kill as well. And all of a sudden, these Radiant heroes are running rampant on the FlyToMoon stack. The Gyro's dead. The Flow Gyro is dead. Everybody is dead except for Fear on the Bristleback, and that's the GG's.
Yeah,
the only hero to go down was the guy with the Aegis. This one's in the books.
You just call it in the end because you just lost the one. I mean, that rush was rush of desperation, you know? You just give it one go. It doesn't work. You just call it instantly after because you have nothing to do in this game any longer.
But I respect that they tried to make a play, right? You're gonna lose the game inevitably. If you're Gambit, you know, it's tough to make aggressive movements, so why not just get a fight in the pit? Maybe you get Aegis, maybe you turn something around. They did land their spells, but it was just really nice, I think, specifically FNG on the Crystal Maiden. The sick ultimate with the Chrono top, and then 2 times now, he had supports canceling his ultimate with their ultimate. So, like, your ult is nice at some DPS, but you're taking away huge tools.
He forces them. He forces them into using their biggest tools onto this poor little Crystal Maiden, and after that, the Void and Queen of Pain can do whatever the hell they want to. And usually what that was is ignore the Bristleback until you deal with everyone else, and then go back to that Bristleback. And if I was FlyToMoon, I definitely wouldn't pick Bristle with the Abaddon again. Like, that was horrible. In that other game, you had DK and the Abaddon, and they just synergized so well.
And when we saw OG do something like this, that Abaddon was almost always no Tails hero. When you do this as your double core, and you don't have that playmaker like a DK, as you can see, your draft is hamstrung. You can't actually make these offensive movements. It's so much easier for Gambit to make plays around the map, and they take it easily.
And there was so much mobility on the side of Gambit. Like, if you want to, you can't really catch anyone without that Disruptor, and it's so easy to read where he's going. Usually they would just catch excess Vampire, right? He was the only one that would sometimes fall to the Glimpse, while the rest of them are just split pushing, farming up, getting those BKBs. Once the BKBs were up, BKB on Void, that is, and what Shivas on Queen of Pain, the game was over. They had no ways of dealing with it.
So, you know, thank you guys for watching the GG.Bet Hamburg Invitational. Remember, make a bet on GG.Bet.com. Insure it with the save code to protect your bet fast and easy. No queues, no business hours, no rejections. GG.Bet.com. I'm Kyle. This is Lizard. We just saw Gambit take first game very convincingly in this Group A winner bracket series. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have more Dota coming your way in just a moment after these quick messages from our sponsors.